Hey everyone, my name is Latu.
And I'm Krizia.
And we're getting married. Nia, drop the logo. Welcome everybody to today's episode of our wedding series. We're like 100 days from getting married, and this is our wedding series. And we like to share with everybody every single moment, but we're talking some cool stuff, some great stuff. Today's episode is about non-traditional ceremonies, which we're going to dive into a little bit because our wedding is incorporating some non-traditional ceremonies, things. So this is a good one today because a lot of weddings nowadays, people are opting out of doing the traditional church wedding, of doing the traditional venues. Even the brides today are just opting out of doing the white dress and doing a black dress. It's a different vibe that actually I do like certain things, how people are switching it up. But as you see, our groups are different as far as the bridal group and the wedding group. And I mean, recently we just came back from a wedding that was different, and it was a beautiful, great wedding.
Yeah.
But
but they did some unconventional things in their wedding. Yeah. Like, for example, the bride's dress had some color in it.
It did.
And then the maid of honor. Was the guy best friend.
Yes. Yeah, that color.
Which I think which I think that's the special exception of stepping out of the conventional way to have a wedding. Like, if your best friend is a male,
right,
you're not gonna go find a random female to stand next to you and you say I do. It's like a big day.
Yeah,
you want your some of your most important people in your life to be standing up there with you.
Yeah.
And I like the
wedding,
our millennial
millennial
of having weddings where we're stepping out of the norm, we're stepping out of traditions, and I mean, if you ask the older generation, they don't really agree with some of the things we're doing.
I can tell the older generation, especially that wedding we're at, or the certain weddings where they do something different.
Yes.
The older generation is like looking at like, this is not the norm. This is not because I think when people go to a wedding, they expect the normal stuff, the church, the groom and bride coming out with their line, and I've seen them switch it up. But when it's not there like that, I could tell the old folks, they don't like it. But I think our generation, the millennials, we get to switch it up and do it the way we like it.
Yeah.
So it was cool. The thing that caught me about that wedding, we had a bird reserve, which was really, really cool. But I also liked the food because it wasn't like some expensive course plates, which was cool, to each their own. But they had tacos. So that was my favorite part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the tacos at that wedding. Yeah.
The food truck.
The food truck.
That's also a millennial trend.
Yeah. I think they had churros too on that truck. Yes. Yeah. That was, shout out that one. That was a different style. Because you always go to weddings and
you're expected to be served.
Yeah, you're expected to be served, and a lot of couples, that's what they're paying for. They're paying for the plate of food. Obviously, that's because they charge mostly those, as we got to experience going through this whole process. They charge per person and they charge per plate. So why didn't you just bring a taco truck out? Like I liked it a lot. Just bring a taco truck, you get unlimited tacos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I remember when we were looking for venues, this one specific venue, they said per guest was $200 a plate.
Yeah.
That's not including alcohol or anything out of.
And that's not including that wasn't. Was that a Saturday? Was it a Saturday? Because
it was a long.
It was a long time ago.
It was a few months ago. I don't even remember, but.
Because the day makes a difference for.
Yeah, a little pro tip for you brides out there is that if you get married on a weekday or a Friday, in some cases, like for our case, it was literally $10,000 cheaper
$10,000 cheaper by doing it on
a Friday versus a Saturday. And if you're concerned that people might not have the time off, you're giving them, a good amount of time of a heads up. Like, we're getting married on this date. And if they can't make it, well, they can't make it.
Yeah, because
they'll see the pictures online. They'll see the pictures on social media.
Because it's the same place, same food. Just because of the day it falls on in the week, it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Saturday is where a lot of people do their wedding. But we chose a Friday, which is non-traditional too, because I think a lot of people are opting to do it out of the Saturday norm. Because Saturday is usually where you set up your wedding. Your guests are off on the Saturdays. It's not like a religious day for some. But I liked it. That was different. I like it's a Friday. Friday, people start their weekends on a Friday. Although some people do their wedding on a Monday or Thursday, Wednesday.
In my opinion about that is that if you have a 3 months heads up, it's on a Friday.
Yeah, unless you got a bunch of weddings in that same time. Unless you have a bunch of weddings that you're gonna attend at the same time.
Well, that's a unique case. But I'm saying if you have a good amount of, we're not telling them the week before. No. What are you doing next Friday? We're getting married. If you want to come, like they know ahead of time. You can request that time off. I think for the bride and groom's sake, if you are considering like budget friendly tips or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth it to have it on a Friday.
Yeah.
And if your concern is how is my guest gonna make accommodations to that? 3 months heads up, they'll figure out accommodations.
True. As far as non-traditional weddings, we chose ourselves to go with not a church, but we chose a specific place. It was a garden in Glendale, California. I know some couples, they choose a vineyard. They choose the beach, which is really cool. And I notice more and more people think today outdoor, right? I think more couples like to go with the scenery. Mm-hmm. Or if you're doing a destination wedding, the scenery there too. But what did you think about the venue that we chose? Like that location
for
and
the
everything?
Ceremony or
for the ceremony. Sorry, not the venue, the ceremony.
Well, you chose. I don't know if you remember that. But you're the one that chose because I was telling you that we were talking about our dream wedding.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, well, my dream wedding is 50 people or less. In the woods somewhere, in a garden somewhere.
Yeah, she got
right, more like a twilight.
Yeah.
A twilight setting. And obviously marrying a Polynesian, less than 50 people was not plausible for you. And then also we didn't want to do it in a church because we're two different religions.
Yes.
And you're either pleasing one side and then you're disappointing the other. So that's why we also decided to go with a garden. You found a garden.
Yeah.
Because you said it's the closest thing I can get to your dream wedding.
Yeah. The outdoor. Yeah, the outdoor.
Right, which I appreciate. He genuinely did that on his own.
Yeah.
And I loved it. We both loved it.
Yeah.
First time we saw it, fell in love with it.
Yeah. And we were going to go look at other places. I think we were talking about the Griffith Park.
There was some other stuff.
Some other LA Zoo. It was my coworker. He was the one who told me about the tea house, the Japanese garden tea house in Glendale, California. And I was like, man, I don't really know. But he showed me the one picture, so that's when I mentioned to you, let's go check it out. We got lost at first because we thought it was more in.
Oh yeah.
We thought it was more in downtown Glendale. But
we pulled up to a parking lot and we're like, I don't think this is the garden.
I said the same thing. I'm like, and we're gonna like just leave after that.
Yeah.
But then I found another address, which actually led us to the garden. And when we got to the garden, first we saw like a library or a church. I think it's a church there. When we first came through the entrance, it's
it's like a giant white building.
It's a white building. I think it's either that or a library. And then we went over to, as we went through the parking lot, that's when we saw the Japanese.
The tea house.
We saw the wall first. It was really kind of hard to see. It's like a I don't know. It's just a wall, and then you have like the Japanese gate there, and then we finally walked through, and that's when we saw the Japanese tea house, the koi fish. It is gorgeous, and it was different for me because, like you said at first, the church wedding was a little conflicting, and for me, I was in the back of my mind because my family's of all different faith. That I wanted to go with the outdoor wedding, keep it neutral, and I don't get conflicting because, man, when you get married, and I know a lot of families don't run into this, but certain families will run into this with faith and all that. But my families do conflict sometimes or somewhat. But the garden was beautiful. We walked us in the, I think at the time it was just Koa.
Oh man.
No. Both the boys. It was both the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went and saw the koi fish. We went up more. We saw they had like an outdoor. Well, my buddy who did his wedding there, he got married a little up the hill. We had the patio, but we liked the right in front of the garden. So that's what really captured our attention. I think in the same day we went to.
We came from the venue.
Yes, we came from the venue.
And then to the garden.
And then to the garden.
Yeah.
And then after the garden, I think we went and booked the garden.
Yeah, we booked the same day.
Yeah, the same day. We didn't even wait.
Yeah. Which is funny, it's the same thing with the venue.
Yeah.
We didn't. Yeah. I'm a very simple bride. I don't want to go look at 10 places. I don't want to try 20 different dresses. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, it's good, it's great, perfect, let's run with it. Yeah. And I'm the same. I'm even the same way with our centerpieces. Like everything else, I'm like, it's great, it's perfect, let's run with it. Like, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's not look. I mean, I understand why people shop around because for prices, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't have the patience to do this. I don't have the patience to sit here and look at 20 different venues.
As far as our ceremony and everything, we already booked it. We've already talked about how we're gonna have our wedding entrance. I think I gotta ask this question. Do you like the direction we're going? Because, we're 100 days from this wedding going down, and we're kind of locked in on it. So I want to make sure, are you comfortable with the direction we're going in so far as the wedding, as a ceremony, the non-traditional ceremony we're going with?
Am I locked in with the non-traditional ceremony we're going with?
Yeah, like, is there, because, this is your wedding day. Is there any doubts in the back of your mind of the garden, of the way we're doing? Because we're not going with a regular wedding as far as the ceremony. You're wearing a white dress. We're all normal on that one. But, weddings are kind of funny because there's like an order that I've, through this whole process, there's an order that I've come to find out how your wedding party enters.
Yeah.
And how you're like the groom, his groomsmen, the bridesmaid, the flower girl. There's a certain order.
That's exhausting.
I know it's exhausting.
Honestly, I am more of I don't know the traditional entrance, order of entrance. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think I'm gonna look it up. I think I'm just gonna make up the entrance.
Yeah.
Because this is my opinion on weddings. Yeah. It's your big day. If you're a traditional bride and groom, perfect. Perfect. It's already written. You know what I mean? Like, your blueprint's already written. Just follow the blueprint. But if you're not really big on tradition and the rules, and you get what I'm saying, mm-hmm. and you don't care if it's not falling in the old-fashioned way of doing a wedding, then that makes it fun because you can get creative with it. Yeah, you don't feel restricted. If, let's just say, one of the ideas I found online is that they want the bridesmaid to go stand with the groom, with the groom side, mm-hmm. and the groomsmen to stand behind the bride. And the reason for that is that the bride can be looking at her bridesmaids
And the groom could be looking at the groom
as his groomsman.
Yeah.
And that's something out of
That's
the
different.
traditions,
Yeah.
right? And I think I think if you don't stress too much on the rules, if you're not a traditional person, this can be very fun for you.
Yeah. And you know what? I like it because it's non-traditional with some traditional, as like I just said
Right.
earlier. But like as far as it, and I think we talked about this before, because usually the groomsman comes right after like the parents and we actually went with officiant with the officiant.
Yeah, because we couldn't go. We couldn't go with a bishop or a priest, so we met in the middle,
we went with an
which
officiant.
you would think that would make everyone go, okay, fair enough.
No. Everybody does
No.
not like the fact that we went with an
No.
officiant, and they keep questioning the faith of the officiant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that one,
Lots of pushback.
lots of pushback. Yeah, for real on that one. I'm going with the
But
non-officiant.
at a certain point, you can't please everyone.
No.
So respectfully, please just show up.
Respectfully,
that's all we're asking from you, is to be there.
Just be there respectfully. Thank you for your comments.
But no thank you.
But no thank you. Like, come on, my dad says it's the best. Like, are they paying for this? No. Then don't worry about them. Like, they shouldn't be like.
But some family members are sponsoring.
The sponsors.
Yeah.
And that's for me is non-traditional. Having your sponsor, that's more cultural, but it's still non-traditional. Having your sponsors in the line, in the, like I said, in the ceremony, because for a lot of people who do weddings, it's just like I said, the basics, the officiant or the pastor, your groom's, but having the sponsors in there is a different one for me. It's non-traditional.
It's a Filipino tradition.
Yeah. So I like that.
Yeah.
But even my entrance is right before yours, right?
I think that's what we agreed on.
And that's non-traditional.
Because he even said, they don't stand up for me. And I said, no.
Come on. You guys got to give the groomsmen some love. Like, like you said, this is different generation. We're going to switch things up. Give the groomsmen some love. Cause I know it's the bride's day, and fellas, everybody, don't get me wrong. It is an important day for the bride, and what she says goes, but just give that little piece.
Yeah. You get your little spotlight too.
Give them their flowers. Like,
yeah.
You know, so please, if you're at my wedding, stand up. Cheer me on.
No, I think they will. They will.
Yeah.
They will probably announce it like, and now the bride, the groom and bride will be doing their entrance, and then please stand for the groom. And then
I love it because that's an experience. That like different wedding ceremony, especially where we're going, is an experience.
Yeah. And
I think that's what I wanted to bring. I mean, we're bringing it. We're like to our wedding is this experience. That's gonna be like, I feel like people. I think everybody else talks about their wedding memories, right? But I when I hear people talk about weddings, it's the same experience. Like they do the cake cutting at this point. They do this, like, which will have some things like that.
That's another thing we're not doing.
Oh yeah, we're not going with the cake cutting.
Yeah, to be honest with you, and I think you got lucky at this part because I'm a very simple bride.
Yeah.
A lot of things I'm like, scratch it. It's really not that important. It's really like to have. This is just something to put out there. Like to have chargers on each plate. Yeah. Do you know what chargers is? It's like the fake big plate.
Big plate, yes.
The plate you're actually eating off of.
Yeah.
Sits on. For what reason? And they're going for $2 plus each plate.
Now, these are all optional things for weddings, but I think it's funny because, like I said, it's a part of the process. It's a part of like this, that, so, but as far as non-ceremony, as far as non-traditional ceremony, I think people are going to have a great experience with our wedding, and we're looking forward to it. What do you think about the experience as you kind of like picturing? Because we're not going to have the wedding, but I think the other weddings you have been to, how has that experience as far as the ceremony been?
I've noticed most people's ceremony are quick.
Yeah.
So
we haven't been to a really long ceremony. Yeah. We did go to a wedding, and they had all the chairs out, Right? You guys set it up and everybody didn't sit down.
Oh, yes.
Everybody
But
was
I think, okay, and that was another note we can take, is that there was no usher.
there was no usher.
So
Yes.
we thought, okay, maybe that's reserved.
Yeah. There's no.
So you can literally, so the pictures probably didn't come out, you know.
Yeah.
The pictures looked like there was only 5 people attending at the wedding, but there was actually a lot more than that. We were just all standing in the back because
Yeah.
we didn't know there was a limited amount of chairs.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we could sit on the chair. We didn't know if it was reserved. So yeah, and we have ushers. So I want to make sure that but I also want to make sure that they stress the importance of the reserved chairs.
There you go. Stress of the reserved chairs.
Yeah, like don't sit in the reserved
don't
chair.
sit in the reserved chairs because you got to stress it. I know some. I got some aunties that don't care about that.
They're like getting front row, and it's like, it's my mom's seat. Like,
and if you're late, sit in the back.
Oh my gosh! Remember that one wedding with the truck?
The truck. Another thing about you got to take into consideration. You're doing outdoor weddings, so there could be some interruptions. For a wedding that we attended, actually, I was the best man at that wedding. Yes, I was the best man at that wedding.
Oh man!
And during the ceremony, a loud diesel truck was just coming through, and it was during the ceremony.
No, it was during the vows.
The vows. Yeah.
It was the worst time.
And that was a wedding guest that was there to attend the wedding. They were late. And there they are running. They're coming to the parking lot, loud diesel, and right up the hill was the ceremony in the middle of their vows. Here comes the loud diesel. Mm-hmm. You hear the turbo whining.
Yeah, that was just bad timing.
Yeah,
that was just bad timing.
Great stuff. Hey, listen, if you guys like what you heard during this podcast, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you had non-traditional ceremonies, please comment below and share with us. We like to hear your experience. My name's Latu.
I'm Krizia.
And we're getting married.